our springboard to Antarctica and the South Pole. On the banks of the Limpopo River, miles of razor wire and steel mesh guard the Republic of South Africa from the rest of the world. Life changes completely. Despite years of sanctions and universal ostracism, Western luxury starts here. Where else in Africa could you rent a white BMW? Country number 14 is undergoing as profound a change as any we've passed through. 4 months before we arrived, apartheid was officially abolished. No one quite knows where South Africa goes next. In the shadow of gold-tinted slag heaps is Johannesburg, the biggest city we've seen since Cairo. Unlike Cairo, Johannesburg is cool, calm and corporate. Retrieving the gold on which their wealth is built leads to spectacular feats of engineering.
Traveling at about 17 meters a second.
17 meters a second. 2 kilometers. This is Western Deep Levels Mine. It's in the Guinness Book of Records for the deepest penetration of man into the Earth's crust, 2.5 miles. 7,000 men work down here. They're drawn from so many different tribes and countries that a special mining language has been developed. Fanakalo is the Esperanto of the mines. It's taught in what is probably the world's deepest classroom.
Yenalo Saha. Yenalo Saha. Yenalo Saha. Yenalo Saha. Ini lo. Yenalo Saha. Yenalo Spanel. Yenalo Spanel.
Yenalo Spanel.
Moshe. Ini lo.
Yenalo Spanel.
Spanel. Ini lo.
Yenalo Spanel.
Moshe. Spanner. Okay, Moshe.
Armed only with the word for spanner, I'm escorted out of the air-conditioned tunnels to where mining starts to get painful.
A bit dangerous around here.
Where's this water from?
This is from the stope where they're busy drilling. You know, it's drilling water, and we're walking up the strike gully towards the stope itself.
Yeah.
And we'll be going up a ladder way here.
Sure.
Into the area. It's quite hot now, isn't it?
Yeah. Hot and wet. It's 30 degrees centigrade at the rock face. Crouched in a chamber 4 foot high, the team has been drilling for almost 6 hours. One man operates the drill, one checks the equipment, one directs water to cool the drill. An engineer locates and directs operations into an inch-wide gold-bearing seam. He's the only white man. It takes nearly 4 hours to change shifts, and as the miners check in their lamps, the technicians are gathering at the crucible. It's a very select band that witnesses the final act of the drama. How can you tell when the gold is coming through?
Okay, if you look through the mask there, you'll see that the gold is now a silvery, a greeny silvery colour.
Oh yeah, it's changing.
You can see it now coming out through the top of the pot.
Yeah. And
that's how you know where the gold is actually coming out.
Yeah. So how much gold is there actually going to be in this particular smelting?
in this one here, we're probably getting about 3 bars of gold. That's about 80 kilograms of gold.
Can you tell me something? I don't know why you have feather dusters in here. It's a very industrial sort of environment. It's 3 feather dusters. Where are they? Up there. What are they there for?
Well, all the dust in the smelt house could contain some of the gold. So every single spot of dust is collected and put back into the furnace. So nothing is taken outside of the smelt house. Even overalls are put back into the furnace sometimes.
Not going to give me an internal check, are you? Back in Johannesburg, I'm made aware of just how long I've been away from home. We left in high summer. Now it's less than a month to the festive season. Snow, 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 in the bleak midwinter. There's nothing like Christmas decorations to provoke a twinge of homesickness. But I console myself that if all goes well, I could get home from the South Pole just in time to start shopping. But Africa has one last and particularly nasty trick in store for us. Back at the hotel, a message is waiting for me. Though it isn't from my favourite witch doctor, it might as well be. I can't quite believe the news, and double-check with our production office in London. Hello, Mimi? Yeah, it's Michael. Yeah, I've just got your fax. Yeah, and I can't believe it. Is that about the Agulhas? Yes, they have no berths at all? Can you investigate every... The Agulhas is sailing to Antarctica, but such is the demand from scientists that all places on board have been taken. There is no room for us. While our London office tries every alternative, we can only hope and wait. We decide to spend the day at Soweto. It has a Latin motto, Conjuncte Agamus, let's pull together. I find the place full of surprises. This house, I'm told, boasts the ultimate in Soweto status symbols, a white security guard. Jimmy, my guide, lives round here. He's a man of sharp wit and little sentiment. Despite these signs of affluence, he tells me that in Soweto, BMW still means break my windows. Jimmy, this looks, to all intents and purposes, like the Beverly Hills of Soweto. What sort of people live here?
Well, it's the affluent black people living here, and professional people, businessmen, doctors, lawyers, successful people, hard workers, if I may put them. Yeah. These are the people I call people who work for the bank. They don't work in the bank, they work for the bank.
If you have a lot of money, if you make a lot of money in Soweto, do people tend to stay here, or is there a feeling that they want to move?
No, there's a big feeling of people moving. I've been seeing signs recently for sale, for sale, for sale, simply because the group areas act is over or done with. So it's a question of now economic apartheid. Those who have the money can move with the Joneses. You don't have the money.
Why do they move from Soweto?
Oh, it's a feeling of people tend to look for what they couldn't be given all the time, or what you were prohibited from doing. That's exactly what you want to do. Yeah. Now that it's open and people feel it's much nicer in the city, in the suburbs, convenient. 3-5 minutes drive from wherever to the city, or buses and transportation.
Transportation is one of the latest ways to make money in Soweto. So serious is the tribal violence on public railways that Sowetans now prefer to fight for a place on a private minibus. There are currently 145,000 of them, and the numbers are rising.
Simply because there's more people.
Soweto was set up in 1933 to house a cheap labour force. Shanty settlements like this one, known as Mandela Village, are the legacy of that decision. These are the families of people who are not wanted, and probably never will be. If you're prepared to leave your family, you could try your luck in one of the hostels. Jimmy doesn't recommend it.
How can you have, 16 men in one room? There's 16 smells of food. This one cooking that, this one doing this. And sometimes people want to rest. You've been working at night time, and the other one has been working during the day. And men in general put together.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the haircut, the barbers.
Yeah.
Street barbers. Money making, of course.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's connected electrically from the battery.
Yeah.
That's how they get the electricity to do all this.
So that's just someone who's coming off the street to get a bit of work
just
here.
a bit of work.
Yeah.
Work's on.
How much do they pay for this, Jimmy?
12 rand to 15 rand per bird.
Yeah.
Different hostels have different
Per
prices.
bed, for a month.
A month.
£3 a month. What sort of wage are they earning? I mean, are these the lowest wage earners here?
Most people in the hostel are low wage earners, but you get quite a few earning roughly 500 rand a month, depending on where they're working. Companies they're working for, 500 would be what? About £100 a month.
So there'll be people here earning £100 a month and staying here?
Yeah.
It's much nicer inside than it is out. Outside it looks a real
except that
tip.
it's a hostel. You can't imagine living being
Yeah.
8 in 1. It's like dormitory style. And
Yeah.
if you have to spend all your life here, this is pretty bad shape.
Yeah. Before I leave Soweto, I have some visiting to do. It's a sign of the changing times that the Gwangwa family, once good neighbours of ours in London, have, because of their ANC membership, only just been allowed back into the country of their birth. 6 months ago, this visit would never have been possible. Wrong day. Hey, there you are! Oh, great to see you!
Oh, great to see you!
That's wonderful!
That's right,
Oh,
me
that's
too,
Hello! And my Lucy?
Right, my Lucy's that
where's
side.
my Lucy? Somewhere else.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, my Lucy.
Oh,
Oh, look at that! Look at that!
welcome, Michael, to Gwangwa family. You do that for everybody, I know. Well,
No! This is this is they use with that cow dung.
oh, cow dung, is it?
Yes,
Oh,
this is
that's nice.
cow dung, and then they all do this. That's the decorations
Fresh
that they
cow
do.
dung, yeah.
Fresh cow dung that we
We
had
should
to
have done that for you in London, but we couldn't get the cow dung, so I had to come here. And do it.
Okay, let's look at Lucy.
We leave Johannesburg with nothing decided, but at least we leave in style. This is the Blue Train, which runs expensively between Pretoria and Cape Town. I justify it to myself as a reward for all the rough riding we've done through Africa. The Nile Valley Express in Sudan carried 4,000 people. The Blue Train's carrying just 92, and no one's allowed on the roof. The contrast with everything that's gone before is so complete as to be almost unnerving. What on earth does one do with 9 pieces of cutlery? The answer is you order a nice bottle of South African Chardonnay and stop feeling guilty. After all, how many people here have cracked ribs and evil shadows? No one ever gets on, no one ever gets off. In this air-conditioned, double-glazed luxury, I feel a bit like an overfed goldfish, able to observe the outside world from my sumptuous bowl whilst remaining completely detached from it. I should think it could quite easily drive you mad. The last 900 miles of Africa run from Johannesburg across the high veld and the wide, dry, scrubby plain they call the Karoo to approach the Cape in a scenic firework display of mountains, valleys and vineyards. "7,000 miles and nearly 3 months after entering Port Said, the unmistakable shape of Table Mountain marks the end of Africa. has changed me. Until I reached Umpalungu, I was an incurable optimist, but something started to go wrong there, and I've reached Cape Town as an incurable fatalist. What will be, will be. From the top of Table Mountain, you can see the point where the Indian and Atlantic Oceans meet. Beyond that, 2,500 miles over the horizon, is Antarctica. But the most poignant sight of all is down in the harbour, a red-hulled supply ship we've chased through Africa to reach. In the end, we made it, but our appeal for space on board the Agulhas has failed. And when she sails tomorrow on the only voyage of the year between Cape Town and the Antarctic, we'll still be here. The journey, it seems, is over.